Good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I am fine. Did my walk. I'm going to see if I can get more light in here. Cloudy day out there. Cold day out. Well, it's not as cold. A little warmer today. I took my walk. Anyway, we got gold at 39.79. More games. Silver back to 48. Real price 500. Real price about 25,000. Paper prices. The paper games. I was listening to one of these gold shows. They're so stupid. Well, it did go up a lot. So you know, it's due to come back. What do you mean it's due to come down? It's due to correct. This isn't a stock. This is gold. This is not a correction. This is people buying because there isn't any, and they're getting out of dollars. What kind of correction are you fucking talking about, you idiots? These are people. This is why I can't listen to Andy Scheckman and some of these other clowns. They just don't understand. I don't know why everybody thinks Andy Scheckman is like the man. He's a good salesman, and that's about it. He doesn't know his economics. He talks a good game on gold, but he doesn't know what he's really saying is not really. Sorry, I dropped something. I mean, when he says, oh, yeah, gold really shot up, so it was a correction. Where are you getting that from? That's not true at all. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's why I don't like him, because it's a waste of time. He just mostly rumbles on about stuff. But if you really understand what he's saying, he's not saying anything. There is no correction here. Just because gold goes from 3,500 to 4,300, why would there be a correction? If it's based on demand, it would be 10,000 by now. Comex is not real. It's fake. It's paper. It's not physical. What kind of correction? What are you talking about? These people are just so stupid. But you believe him because of the delivery. He's a nice guy, maybe. I show you really me. Most guys don't. They hide on camera. You think they're nice. They're not. Peter Schiff's probably an idiot. Well, we know he's an idiot, but he's probably an a-hole. Jim Rickards, government guy, so he can't be a good guy. So most of these guys are just trouble. That's why we don't listen to them, because the problem is, who do I listen to has to know what they're talking about. That's why I give you Egon, and I give you a little Mark McGuire when he's talking English, and a little alligator who's learning from me to finally understand it's inflation is money printing, not prices. He had to listen to me to get it, because he didn't get it before. He thought it was prices going up, or everybody thought it was the CPI and they were fixing the CPI. Well, they are fixing it, but it's not. That's not what inflation is. We're in a recession. There's no such thing as deflation. Deflation is the market. The market's shifting. This is what they don't understand, is the market shifts. What do you mean, Howard? All right. So, as I say, God, my thing keeps dropping. Darn. So the market moves all the time. You used to have phones. Then cell phones came out, and then everybody got one. Market shifted. Then computers came out, and then they got cheaper. The market shifted. Then you got the laptops. Then you got the cell phones with the computer and the camera on it. The market shifted. VCRs came out. I know I bought one. It was very expensive. Then the market shifted. Did it crash because I paid $900 for my VCR in this? I think it was the late 70s, and then now they're $100 a piece if you can even find one. Was that a crash? No, the market shifts. The market shifts all the time. People want something, and then something new comes out, and they want that. And you can't give away the other. Hey, Real D, good morning. So to call a housing market crash is bullshit. It's the market shifting. The market shifts in football all the time. This is one of the hardest parts we have is the market shifting. Indiana, Indianapolis, both Indy College and Indy Pro has shifted. They're not shit teams anymore. Well, Indy in college is great. Indy in the pros is getting better. Losing to Pittsburgh isn't good, but that's Daniel Jones being Daniel Jones. He's not that good. He got a little better. Darnell, is he good? Don't know. And that's really what you run into is, are these guys any good or not? But everything shifts. And this is what I mean when the variables shift. What's quick remedy get over a cold? Onions. So I cut an onion. I don't have an onion to show you. I tried. There was no onions at the grocery store the other day. So you take like here, you would cut. Let's pretend this is an onion, right? So let's say this is an onion, not an apple, and I cut a slice off, right? Then I'm going to cut it. Then I'm going to cut it in half. So this is pretend an onion. And then you put it right on your foot. On each foot, you put the onion just like this, raw, right on your foot. Put a sock on it to keep it on. And usually you do it at night, although you can do it now. Do it at night to, you just sleep with it. If you have to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom, you walk on it, fine. And I did it with 2 slices. So I had one here on my foot and one here. Maybe it maximizes the effect. The feet are the best way to cure yourself. It's just something that I don't know what's the nerves or whatever, but it's very sensitive. I know when I was in Italy and I couldn't walk on the rocks. It was killing me. But if I put my shoes on, there was rocks, and then you would go into the Mediterranean. And I couldn't do it. It was too painful. So I put the shoes on. I was there. But there's a lot of nerves and a lot of, I'm not a doctor, but technically it's a good area to heal you. And so you put the 2 slices of onions on each foot, put the socks on to keep them there, and they'll stick to your feet. All I know is I had that hacking cough for 2-3 weeks. And I watched Dr. Barbara O'Neill, and she said to do the onion. And there's something you can drink, I think, with honey and onion, and I didn't want to go there. And it just, the next, when I went to sleep, I wasn't hacking as much. When I woke up, there was very little hacking, and within a day, I didn't hack anymore. And that real painful nasal infection, hack, and you're choking to death and everything. And it went away like a day later. So I would try the onion on your feet. Just understand your feet are very strong, powerful, like defense mechanism. And there's a lot of nerves in your feet. And that's what I did. And I got rid of that hacking cold. And right now, you haven't heard me hack. I haven't hacked since I did that. It's been at least a week. So try that. It worked. So can't say it didn't. Let me show you the video. So there's Dr. O'Neill. Eternal Health, I would go to. This destroys diabetes. You need what's it called? Magnesium. So when I eat my avocado and my dark chocolate and everybody laughs, that's actually, they got tons of magnesium in it. And that's why I don't have high blood sugar or diabetes. That's how you get away from it. So it's the avocado, it's the dark chocolate, the almonds. There's a lot of foods that, pumpkin seeds. Just eat them. There's magnesium in it. And that's the key to your body is the magnesium. That's what makes you tired and your blood pressure high and your diabetes. Anyway, so she did, if you go into hers, she'll go through the cough and it's the onion. Let me see if I can find it. Here. Never sick again after drinking this. That's like onion and honey and stuff. But this stops cough and cold. So it's Eternal Health, Barbara O'Neill. This stops cough and cold. So I would recommend watching that. But I'm already telling you, it was onions on my feet and it worked overnight. So you put your sock on it. Who gives a shit? You got an onion on your foot. I've had worse, and then just sleep on it. And then, like I said, if you have to go to the bathroom at 4 a.m, just go and walk in the onion. Who cares? And then, you shower it off in the morning, and that was it. And it went away. So she's very, very good. And there's a lot of good stuff she has. And our Dr. Enberg also, the bald guy, he's very good. Okay, we'll get back into this. So Mark McGuire Alligator saying there's no gold left, which we already know. Bricks has all our gold. London's out. U.S. If we have any gold, it's not ours. It's China's. So we head out there. Appreciate that advice. I love doing things the natural way. Yeah, Real D, it's the better way to do it. Because that's the whole gimmick with medicine is to get you to buy these prescriptions. I watch these commercials. Oh, go get this and talk to your doctor and da. Fuck it. I don't even go to a doctor anymore. I have no need to go to a doctor. If I just eat healthy, if I just eat my avocado and all my veggies and I stay away from sugars and I eat my proteins, I'm fine. I'm healthy. I very rarely have any problem. The foot problem, I probably caught from somebody at a restaurant or at the club, at the pool. I probably caught it from somebody, but that's a nasal infection, But otherwise, I mean, I know how young I look versus how old I am. My girlfriend thinks like you look, or somebody said that. You look like you're 45 years old. And I go, and it's because I'm not smoking and I don't drink. I don't do the drugs. You look at people who do drugs and their teeth are falling out or they look droopy and old. I had a friend who used to work at the grocery store and he'd smoke a lot. Man, I met him a few years ago after not seeing him for like 20 years. The guy looked like a shrunken head. It was all wrinkly faced and, I was like, I really can't look at you. It was very hard to look at him. Because it's all poison they're putting in their bodies. They don't know it. So that's where you got to be careful. Just, it depends how long you want to live and what you do. But I just never need drugs, and what I take would be dark chocolate and avocados and steaks and ribs and chicken and veggies, and that's my drugs, I guess. Dark chocolate. But you just if you don't put anything bad in your body, you won't look like shit after. People really forget your body is a temple. Well, exactly, Real D. It's just, but why do you want to hurt yourself? I mean, people do the drugs or cigarettes or the alcohol, but why? Why do you don't need it? I feel better. Learn how to feel better without that. Yeah, it's really crazy. Um, you become unattractive, um, and you end up being in your own little world. These people with the cigarettes, yeah, I really want to hang around and smell your smoke all day, or watch you drink all over. Um, people have different reasons to feel good, I guess. It's life. They don't really understand life, and that's it. So it sort of gets back to our if we can take it to economics. We can take everything to economics. Figure this is like taking drugs. This is not good for you. This is terrible for you. You're going to go broke with it. You won't be able to eat. You won't be able to live if you stay in this. But all you have to do is trade it for gold and silver, and you'll have a normal, happy life. And that's all it is. It's just, this is poison. This is worthless. And all you have to do is trade it for gold and silver. There's nothing to it. And if you own stocks, trade it, get out of it, sell your stocks, and then go buy gold with it. Well, I'm in a 401k in my company and they're giving me 5% match. Yeah, but you're still in this crap. So even if you get $100, it's not worth anything. That's why you turn it into gold and silver. That's the whole key to it. It's like, don't smoke cigarettes. Don't take, bad drugs. And it's going to hurt you. This is a bad drug. Think of this as a bad drug. This is going to hurt you. There's nothing that anything good's going to come out of holding this, except you're going to go broke because it's worthless. Anything that they can keep printing, like they're doing with the dollar, how can it be worth anything? It has no value. So just think of it as poison. Do I want to hold poison or do I want to get rid of it? And here I can trade it for, I can trade the poison for gold, which is good. But people just don't think like that. They just don't understand it. They don't know how to think like that, or they don't want to think like that. So if you tell somebody who's like a drug addict to get off of drugs, or a cigarette person, or an alcoholic, if you try to tell them to stop doing it, they won't. They won't until they get very sick. So I've known people that have been very sick, needed operations, and then they stop smoking. Then they figure out smoking's bad for me, even though there's warnings all over the place and everybody knows smoking's bad for you or drugs are bad for you or whatever. Until they get sick and need an operation, do they finally, I don't want to go through that again. But see, this is what's different about us. We go 5 steps ahead of the game. We know that this is worthless. So we get out of it now before we have to go through the pain of being broke. Right? And what's going to happen, you're not going to be able to afford the gold if you can find it. So by the time you realize you've been made off and this is worthless and this is poison and you're going to die because this isn't going to buy you anything, by the time you realize it, to go buy the gold is going to be $10,000 an ounce. You won't be able to afford it. You'll buy some silver, maybe, if you can find it. The other problem is going to be finding it. As I told you, I think I'm going to go to my gold store today just for fun. But when I go, last time I went, he didn't have any gold. I've never seen him without any gold. Well, let's say I don't have any gold. Okay, I'm going to start buying. And I go to him. He doesn't have any. Now I'm really fucked because now I finally figured out that this is poison and I got to get it out of my system. And the only cure is gold and silver. And yet I can't find any. Or he's so expensive, I can't afford it. And that's why you can buy 1/10 of an ounce and 1/4 ounces. You can still buy those. They all count, right? You don't have to buy ounces. He asked me one day, why do I buy the ounce? Because the premium's not good. And I said to him, I'm just trying to accumulate gold. I don't care if it's an ounce, a half ounce, a 1/4 ounce, a 1/10 of an ounce that I'm buying from you. It all adds up. So if I buy 4 1/4 ounces, I might pay a little bit more, but in my mind, I got 1/4 ounces because either you didn't have ounces or I couldn't afford it. At the time, I probably couldn't afford $3,000. I'd probably take 3,000 and buy 3 or 4 ounces. But then I'd go back and I'd want more, but I couldn't afford another ounce. Oh, here's a 1/4 ounce for $400. Oh, okay. I was eating those up pretty good. So that's why you do it is you take anything. And even now at 4,000, a 1/4 ounce is probably $1,100-$1,200. Buy it. You don't always have to buy an ounce. Hey, Real D. What this whole idea with government shutdown and SNAP's benefits being withheld, what's going on? Well, they're broke. So me and you are running an ice cream store or a shoe store like me and Bobby would or something. Me and you are running a store. We get revenue coming in. And we have the revenue covers 5 employees. Me and you get paid, a couple of employees get paid. But if we have 50 employees, but we're only getting the revenue to handle 5, what do? We got to lay off. We got to fire the other 45 people because we can't afford them. Let's not forget, we're in business to make money. The government's a little different. They don't produce anything. So they have all these government employees. They don't have any revenue. They don't sell anything. Making roads is not selling a product. So the government spends more than they get. So they have 50 employees, but they only get in very little in taxes, which isn't even revenue. It's bullshit. So they only have 5. They only have enough for 5. So here's the government. They can't afford all the employees. How are they going to pay for them? Oh, we'll print money. Well, you can't keep printing money. The money's been printed. I want to take a picture for you. So the government shutdown is I can't afford. I can't afford it. I'm smiling for Jenna. They can't afford the. They can't afford all the employees because the government doesn't produce anything. It's not General Motors or Ford. It's not Microsoft. They don't sell anything, so they have no revenue. Taxes as a form of revenue is bullshit. So part of the problem with the government shutdown is they really can't afford to pay the people. So right now they print money to pay for it. Well, that's not good. Printing money is not your answer. So that's really why the government shut down. They won't tell you that because they don't want you to panic. But that's the problem. It's not, you can't, because the debt's now 38 trillion. Notice how quickly it went from 37 to 38. It'll be 40. It doesn't matter. They can't pay it off. You're going to piss off a bunch of Chinese and Russians who have bonds and you owe them money and you can't pay them off, see, your credit's gone. If you don't pay, your credit goes to zero. You'll never be able to borrow money from anybody. So they're they don't know what to do, but you got to pay interest on the debt. You got to pay the military pensions. You got to pay the defense contractors. You got to pay Social Security and Medicare, and you got to pay all your employees and their pensions. So my friend works for the DOD in Florida. He's not even working. He's not going to get paid. He's looking for other jobs because he's still got mortgage to pay and he's got car payments to pay. But he won't get it, So he says, well, if I don't show in the work, they'll fire me. I go, they've already fired you. You just don't realize it. If I'm not working for you, I'm fired. It's not like, oh, I'm on temporary leave. Okay, till when? They'll never settle it because they can't afford it. As far as this SNAPS benefits, I believe that's food stamps. Again, where do they get the money to give you to go to the grocery store? They print it. They can't print anymore. It's worthless. This has no value. You want to get food? Buy silver. When I go to the barbecue place, this is just a barbecue restaurant, steaks, ribs, chicken. And I go to the guy, will you take this ounce of silver in payment of lunch? He says, sure. And now it's worth $50. So I can get a $50 lunch. I don't know how he can give me change. Well, he'll give me change in dollars, I guess. If I got a $20 lunch and I gave him the silver, he'd give me back $30, which I don't want. But I could use the silver. You're not going to be able to use the dollar or the snap, crackle, pop thing or whatever. It's the government is broke. They have 50 employees at our ice cream shop and they can't afford to pay them. So you either lay them all off and keep us 5 because we can sell enough ice cream for 5 people, or you shut down. And they shut down because they can't afford it. They can call it whatever they want. They can't afford it. The dollar's worthless. You can't just keep printing. Nobody wants your bonds. So what they would do for money, which is where the debt comes from, is all these treasury bonds. So they print the treasury bonds. China and Russia and India would buy them, and Japan, Germany. They would buy them. You know how you buy a bond. Give me $100 savings bond. Here's your $100. And in 5 years, I get 2 or 3% interest. And then I get my $1,000 back in 5 years. Here's $1,000. And we've been giving you interest as it goes. I don't know how anybody thinks this is a good idea. I don't know. It's stupid because the dollars you're getting back will be inflated. They'll be worth nothing. The 2 or 3%, again, you're better off taking the, what did I say, $1,000 and buying silver with it or gold. Oh, but the story is gold doesn't give a dividend. Warren Buffett, it has no value. It doesn't give a dividend. I mean, you know what it does? It goes up in value. It's a gold mine. So does this ever go up in value? No, this has been going down since 1971, but in truth, probably 1913 when they made the Federal Reserve. So the value of this keeps dropping. Like I say, I'm watching Leave It to Beaver. This is like 1961, 62, and the Beaver goes to the movies. And Ward gives him $1 and is bitching, make sure I get the change. That's how valuable the quarters and the dimes were. And he could go to a movie and I think it probably cost a dime, and he'd get the pop and the popcorn probably cost, 15 cents. And Ward wanted the change. We send our kids, do we ever care if we get change? I have refilled. Do we ever, here's a 20 and go and take the change and, buy a candy bar or something. Or go to lunch with your girlfriend or something. But that's how the money was. It was very valuable. But as you keep printing it, it has no value. You can't go to the movies with the quarter. What, I don't even know what they call. I mean, you don't even go anymore now. It's all this online, and all these people think we'll have Paramount and we'll have the Disney Channel and we'll have all these bullshit channels. Nobody's going to pay. Nobody can afford them. Nobody wants them. I mean, it's a joke. They think streaming's the way to go. No, it isn't. I pay for the NFL Network. Never, ever, ever. I can't stand watching it now with all the bullshit interruptions and commercials. And just the authenticity of the referee not being able to see something 2 feet in front of him, if the guy's inbounds or out, if it was a fumble or not, screwing up calls right and left. I don't know what the product is now. It's a bunch of horse shit, no kickoffs. They've ruined the sport. It's really, really bad. And it's very hard to watch. The only thing keeping it alive is the betting. Since we don't bet on baseball and we don't bet on basketball, as we know, that's all fixed. It's very hard. Imagine betting a game, with Wilt, and then he takes this, what is it, anger management, where he doesn't play. What is that shit? But he doesn't tell you until like an hour before the game. Oh yeah, LeBron's going to sit out today with management, load management crap. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. And I don't bet basketball very often, just a little in the playoffs. I don't trust it. I don't care. Football is the only thing that's I bet it my whole life. And it's about the only reason I have any interest in it at all. It's getting so bad. Let's have this really stupid kickoff and, what? Oh, people won't get hurt. Oh, it's a contact game. People will always get hurt. We kind of like watching people get hurt, by the way. We like contact. That's why we watch it. Real D. So a lot of what's going on in your previous question is they're broke, but they won't say it. But I will. That's why gold and silver are your only outs. That's your lifeboat. Don't think about it. Just buy as much as you can. If you can't afford the gold, buy the silver, buy the quarter ounces of gold, buy it. Get out of your dollar before you're broke. Real D. How do be able to make honest living with AI on the rise, taking away jobs for people? It's a good question. We're going to have to find jobs that are not AI, like a plumber, a painter. Now they can have robots do that, but not if you're building a house and you need to put in the walls and the roof and the basement, and you need the electrician to come in and you need the plumber to come in. AI can't do that. I don't think AI can ever handicap football as good as I can, or do my finance on Excel and SAP the way I can. What's the ironic twist is, if everything goes AI and you have no employees, your business is worthless. So as you think you're saving money, I won't have an IT department and I won't have a finance department or HR and customer service, and everything goes AI. You don't pay anybody. Who's going to buy your product? I don't have any money because you won't let me work. The system's in place where we work, we collect money and we spend it. So you now put AI into that instead of us. So we're all gone. Now it's all AI. You don't pay AI. Well, AI doesn't go spend. They don't go buy ice cream. They don't buy gym shoes. They don't buy golf clubs. They don't go golfing. All these businesses will fail. Who are you going to sell a car to? AI, good luck. Who's coming to your restaurant? AI, good luck. And if you go totally AI, there will not be an economy. There will not be a market. There will not be a society. And nobody will work because without customers, you can't. Look at Vegas now, right? Vegas is broke because nobody wants to go because you made the prices too high. So as your market's here, if it costs you this much, there's nobody, you're not selling to anybody. And that's what Vegas's problem is. Resort fees, parking, the food's expensive, the liquor's expensive. So but there's nobody there. You're not, the people who want to go to Vegas do not want to spend that much. So we're going to the lake, we're going to other cities. We're staying home. Like I went up to Lake Michigan instead of going to Vegas September. Okay. But as Vegas keeps the price here, there's nobody to sell to. So if you have AI, now this is gone. So now you have they're trying to sell, but there's nobody there but AI. There goes your market. You're done. You have to find a different place that you can get a job and live. And that's what we've done our whole lives since being on the planet. You would normally follow the river, like people in Egypt live near the Nile because it's a desert except for this river. And people in every country live near the water because they needed water to live. And so people will move. You move to where the jobs are, basically. So you've got to get out of Texas if it's all AI, and all the businesses will fail because who's going to buy their goods? Nobody will buy their goods and service. The thought of having AI and no employees and I don't have to pay AI is the stupidest idea I've ever heard of in my life. It can never work because who's going to buy your goods? You need people who are getting paid to buy your goods. So maybe we all go work in Europe, or we all go work in Russia or China and BRICS countries where there's gold. Maybe they have jobs there, so we go there. And they have markets because there's people making money and spending money. But if you take away the people making money and spending money, you've taken away your whole company. You've taken away. So if Apple wants to sell phones, who are they going to sell it to? Nobody has money to buy them because we're all AI'd. So AI thinks this incredibly stupid idea. I don't like it. I think it can't work. Nothing good can come out of trying to replace people with computers. We can see things. I can look at a ledger and see a $2 million mistake, and I've done that at Mercedes. Hey, what's this $2 million hitting us? And then find out, oh, yeah, it's wrong. And the girl will do a journal entry to move it. AI would never find that. They might see it, but they wouldn't know what it is. And who are they going to communicate? How are they going to talk to the controller to reverse the expense? They can't analyze. There's no way AI can analyze the way I can to analyze football games and gold and figure out what to do with the dollar's worthless. I mean, that's intuitive, and that's what I learned to look out for. The money, Biden starts spending $5 trillion. Oh, the dollar's worthless. What do I get into? And the answer was gold and silver was the only answer to get into. And that's really the bottom line of it. It's you've got to understand that the dollar's worthless, and that leads you down the path. It's like going down the rabbit hole. Well, wait, what's causing inflation? Oh, printing the dollar to death, killing the value of it. So you have to understand all that. Then, okay, what do I do? Oh, it's simple. Go buy gold and silver. You'll be fine. Oh, okay. But I got my money in stocks. It's worth nothing. Paper dollars are worthless. I can't understand that concept. Okay, then don't cry to me when you're broke. And I've had friends, and I've told them that. And I says, I'm trying to help you, but if you don't want to listen, And when you go broke, when the dollar goes broke, which is going to happen very soon, don't ask me for gold because I'm not going to give you any. I've tried to help you. It's up to you. You don't want to listen. Too bad. I mean, that's all I can do is tell you. And you can either listen or not listen. That's your choice. But if you don't listen, don't crawl on me. Yeah, Howard, I didn't listen to you. Well, I understand that. I'm 100% accurate on that. There's no choice. There's no way I'm wrong. And that's the problem is people, they'll go to their financial planner. They trust him. Hey, you saw Attack on Wall Street because I showed it to you. $60,000 goes to zero. He listened to his financial planner and he said, go into real estate. Oh, everybody told me this would be fine. And then the real estate collapsed and he's broke. He lost his 60 grand, which is why he shoots the guy. He should have shot him. The guy lied to him. And you can't lie to somebody with $60,000. I don't lie to you. I tell you what you do and I show you what I do is what you should do because I know that is the correct path. That's why I show you Egon and Mark McGuire and those guys. Only the guys that understand it. The rest of these idiots I don't show you. Or if I do, it's just to bitch out that they're idiots. But that's the point. You have a way to get out. And your way to get out is gold and silver. But that's ending. The prices are getting expensive and the stores don't have or they don't understand. So it's as it's getting expensive, they don't want to spend the money to buy the gold and silver. So they don't have, unable to realize that it's going to 10,000 an ounce and they'll keep making money on the thing, but they're so stupid because so if somebody goes to my gold store and he sells it and he gets spot, let's call it 4,000. So he gets 4,000. He sells it to me for 4,100. I told him before, you should be locking this up in your safe at 2,000. And then as it gets higher, then maybe you pull out a little and sell it at $4,000 and double your profit, but only because he's a store. I have no intention of doing that. I'm buying it at 16, 17, 1,800. I have no interest at all in profit taking. Because if I do, I'm back on the Titanic and I'm going to go sink and I won't be able to eat if I'm back in this. So there's never a thought about selling unless it's like 1 ounce for some expense or vacation. So your honest living, Real D, is basically trying to buy gold and silver now and just living off of that, and or moving to a place that still has jobs, not AI, in your skill set. So if you're a doctor or a lawyer or finance or an NIT and you can't get a job here, I don't know how AI can replace doctors. I'm not sure if they can replace lawyers, although God, everybody hates lawyers. There's such nickel dimers. Oh, I'm going to charge you $5 to copy a page. Really? You got to charge me that? Go fuck off. I mean, what kind of crap is that? Orion David. So, yeah, I mean, however we make an honest living now, we find a job, but you might not be able to find the job in your city. But I don't see AI taking all the jobs. That would be crazy. I know in Vegas what they're doing. They're trying to get rid of the dealers with AI. Okay, well, I can play on my phone, but I don't want to. I like to go to the casino and get the environment, but they don't understand that. So if you do go, what are they going to do? Make AI craps, make AI blackjack, make AI baccarat? I mean, what's the point of going to the casino then? I can do that on my phone. And I don't really want to gamble on my phone. I like going to the casino. I like the colors and the sound and the pure oxygen and the money, the chips and the girls. I can't get that in my living room. So I don't really know what they're doing. They just see it as we can save money and there's no vacation days and nobody's sick and they don't need medical and da 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 da. And I'm like, whoever's thinking like that are just freaking idiots. I mean, that's all you can say. They're clueless. This guy who runs the MGM, he has no idea what he's doing. He's in way over his head. And how he got the position, I don't. He went to UNLV business school or something. It'd be very hard with only that little education to actually run MGM, and he's running it so poorly. You know, it's the problem is their gambling revenues down, so they want to make it up in shopping and eating and parking and staying at the hotel, and they're missing the whole point. If you lower all that, you bring in more guests, and you lower your table game stake, you have more players, and guess what? 99% are going to lose. You're missing that whole concept. You want a lot of people in your hotel. You want them eating and drinking at normal prices and shopping. Only an idiot doesn't get that concept. It's just, and there's nothing. What are you going to do? There's nothing. If an idiot can't get that concept, why is he running a business? That would be like us. We're running. Me and D are running an ice cream place. So if we use the Vegas script, we'll charge $30 for a sundae and a cone and everything. Yeah, we'll lose money, but we'll make more when they buy one. Well, I hate to break it to you, nobody's going to buy one because there's no market for a $25, $30 sundae. Right? So as soon as you get that, as soon as you understand that, then you can't do it. You actually want to sell your ice cream for $2 and $3 to get people in. Now that would be if we're selling other things. So we want to be at about $5. We're competing with the half gallon drums at the grocery store, which are $3 that I'm charging $7 for a sundae. I'm going to lose. But that's the point. You don't want to. There's no market. The market's here, and you got to sell it here. So if Vegas, you want the $5 blackjack, craps, baccarat. You want people shopping at the gift shops. You want them eating here at affordable prices. You want people drinking for free because they'll gamble more. You've missed every concept available. It's amazing that you're in the position you're in, running a major casino like a fucking 2-year-old. And that's what's happening. And now they're all going broke and they're all laying people off. And they've missed the basic concept. You've got to find your market. Once you find the market, that's what you sell for. You can't be up here if your market's down here and then wonder why nobody's there and then wonder why I got to lay off people and my costs are too high. It's your pricing, you idiot. You're not at market. It's a very simple Say's Law concept that just blows my mind. And Vegas is fucking it. And it's the same thing with Real D and his AI. So you have to go to a place that still has markets, that still has people working and not AI. But AI will fail. I mean, the biggest problem is that nobody wants to deal with AI. There's nothing that AI does that's any good. Alex wants to, well, I'll let you have AI for football picks. I'm like, well, why would I do something that stupid? What is AI going to help me? It's not going to help me analyze because I already got that down. I've been doing this since the 70s. I think I know how to analyze the games. All I need is my numbers. There's nothing, there's no trick to it. There's no AI is not going to help me. I have done spreadsheets that are like VLOOKUP. So if I just bring the data in, then I can take, oh, here's the quarterback and here's how many touchdowns and sacks and here's the yards for the team and the points. Well, that's just a simple Excel, a formula. I don't need AI for that. I don't need AI picking my games. I do a pretty good job on my own. So I don't find any value in AI picking football or doing my finance or my budgeting or anything like that. Then they have robot girls now, TK. That must be fun. Or do they feel like a robot? I mean, do they kiss like a robot? I mean, have you ever dated a robot girl? I remember they used to have those sex dolls. What a great idea that was. Yeah, I want to play with a piece of rubber. Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, it seems like all it is a computer. Seems like it's just like a computer. So instead of just a rubber girl or a sex doll, they're now a sex doll who has a brain. I mean, yeah, really? I'll prefer a real girl. Does the robot girl not nag? Well, I don't. It depends how she's programmed. Um, I mean, it's just funny. It just really is. Um, they'll have. Are you going to have robots, cigarettes, and liquor and drugs like we were talking before? Um, you can't, and why would you want to replace real people? That's really the question. I want to get fake people and robots and AI. Um, the the reason at a company would be to save costs. Question is, do you really save cost? Well, I don't have to pay Joe 100 grand to do finance and his benefits. Okay, but what does that mean? So if you don't, so you don't think AI is going to cost you? Well, you're still going to have to, when it goes on the fritz, you're going to need IT people to fix it. Can you trust AI? Oh, AI doesn't go to work. Well, what if you lose power? Then AI is on vacation, right? Um, that's the other thing. What if you need to get a hold of AI? How are you going to call them? Yeah, I need to. Yeah, is this A or is this I? I need to talk to you. You know, we have that big meeting coming up with China. What are you? You're talking to a computer? What are you kidding me? It's just really stupid. Um, I don't get this thing about people don't want people. They're trying to kill all the people. All the elites are trying to kill them. They're poisoning our food, the water, the air. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Who are these people? What it sounds like George Soros running a lot. He's a Nazi, so he wants the master race. Probably only wants Nazis or Germans, blonde hair, blue eyes, and anybody else eliminate. I don't know where these people get these sick ideas from. That's the thing of business. If it's business, you don't want to kill anybody. You want to do business with everybody. You're not prejudiced. You don't care what color they are, if they're male or female, whatever, as long as they are a shopper. As long as they give you money for the goods, you don't care anything because you're in it to make money. So when you start getting away from that idea and then getting in the I don't want to sell to different colors or different races or different this or different that, then you're an idiot. I mean, there's nothing else that can be said. You're really an idiot for doing that. Why would you cut your own hands off? Yeah. Well, we're going to lose money. Well, I don't care, but I don't want to, it's insane. But that's the problem with it. People are just ignorant, and that's it. Real D. You seen society had changed in the pasty? You're starting to sound like Bobby. In the past years, barely see children outside and divorce rates high, and people don't talk to strangers anymore. Strange times, you agree. I think a lot of that is the cell phone. I think the kids play on their cell phone, these video games. Um, I know when I was married, we all had our own TVs. So the kids would be up in their room watching their cartoons and their TV, and I'd be watching, YouTube or football, and the ex would be watching whatever. And there's no family involvement. I know when I would call my kids to say happy birthday now, I get a text back. I don't talk to them. They don't talk. They don't know how to talk. When I apply for jobs, they don't know what to look for. I'm so far over their heads, they don't know how to hire me, or they're afraid because I'm older or whatever it is. They don't have the ability to manage and communicate. Um, you do see some children outside, but you've the problem with the internet is it's everybody's on their phone, and then you've taken away going to the mall or going to some stores. I mean, we used to go to, you used to go to a mall, right? And there'd be all these stores and everybody would be walking and you'd see kids and you'd see everybody. And now it's Amazon. So nobody leaves their house. There's still a few malls, but basically who's shopping at it? So you don't really get that traffic. Uh, you don't, everybody's on their cell phone. So even if you do, you're not going to have a conversation with them. They're going to be busy looking at TikTok and YouTube and whatever else is on the phone and doing all this. I agree with you. It's terrible. You're killing all you're killing that conversation that we have, right? You're talking to me now, David and Dee and Bobby and Nick and Luke. We're having we are communicating in normal terms, although you can't talk back to me. You can text me. That's why I do it free. So I want your text so we can kind of have our conversation here. And people, you can't do this. You can't. If I'm at the pool, I tell you guys the story. I'll talk to a guy in the hot tub just to have a conversation, and it goes nowhere. Hey, are you into gold? Oh, I don't want gold. I got stocks. Don't talk to me. I mean, people are so weird. The government is so corrupt that it hurts. The government shortage you just talked about, or the government, the government screwing the money supply and the government having this shutdown. What's all that? And then, but who do you talk to with it? Who can you talk to? Because even your family you can't talk to because they don't want to talk about it, or they're different point of view in government that you have. So it becomes very difficult to have the conversation and the communication that we've been brought up on. And if you're at work, oh, you can't talk or whatever. I was at Toyota in Alabama, and I talked to people about gold and silver. I'd go around, not a lot. I mean, I would, if I saw a friend, hey, but I would talk to my managers, and so a treasurer pulls me in a room and says, well, what are you doing here? And I did not know what he was talking about. I said, I'm working here. What do you mean? What kind of question is that? What do you mean? What am I doing here? Well, I don't know. I'm bored out of my mind and I'm working here, but basically go fuck off. I don't really want to. TK Raiders always find ways to lose. Okay. Well, we'll talk football later. You always want to change the subject, David. We're talking this and then you go there, which is fine, but you gotta, when we get there. But I think the society first started changing with the garage door opener. I remember when I was really young, you would pull up and you'd park in your driveway, and the neighbor would be out parked in the driveway, and you'd have and my mom would talk to the neighbor or my dad, how you doing, Charlie? And, and they would go out to eat. There was more social things with the neighbors. And they'd get together with their friends. Well, How many friends do you have now? Where are you meeting your friends? At work, you can't have friends at work. Everybody wants to tell on you. You can't trust anybody. Um, I know a few people at the club, but I'm not even trying to make friends. As soon as I bring up gold and they all freak out, I'm like, fuck off. I won't talk to anybody then. You don't really you talk a little to your neighbors when they're outside. You're not ringing the doorbell. Hey, Charlie, let's talk gold. Um, so you're basically in the house. You go to the club. You go walking. You go to the grocery store. You're not making friends there. So it's a very difficult thing to even make friends. I do have WhatsApp, so I can talk to Daria and Jenna in Russia and the Ukraine, and my friends in Romania. But that's just a quick chat. It's not like you're talking. It's not like you're with them, going to lunch or dinner with them. I do meet my one friend Alyssa who lives here, who I pick her up and then we get lunch and stuff like that. So she's probably my main friend who I actually have a lunch or dinner with. Um, yeah, it's a very different world than what we're used to, and that's the big problem. We're used to that world. That's how we grew up. I mean, I'm in my 60s, so you grew up in the 60s and 70s and 80s is a totally different. Like there on YouTube, there's a thing on growing up in the 70s and restaurants in the 70s and all this, and it's so it becomes a whole different. Well, gold's back 39.84. We're making our move. But you'd go to school and you'd make friends and you played. I played baseball and then I played golf, a little football until I saw some real big guys. But you got into sports and stuff like that, and you'd make friends there. You make friends at poker, but I don't do that too much because I put all my money into silver and gold. It's a better return. There's no risk, and so I'm not down playing poker as much. So you just find yourself in it's a little different mentality. But the kids now grow up texting, and so they don't have any friends, right? They text their friends. They're not. You don't have that communication face to face, which I think is critical. Real D, I appreciate this space, TK. You helped me out with a lot of things that really a safe spot. Got me out of some dark times. Appreciate your wisdom and support. Well, thank you, Real D. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. That's why I really do this. That's why I bring in health and I bring in economics. Before it was really a football thing, but I could see people are going to get fucked holding the poison dollar or the poison apple if we go Disney, holding it and not being smart enough to get into gold and silver because they don't know. And that's what I'm trying to do here is advise that here's your option. Here's what's happening to you that you don't even know that's happening. It's like diabetes. You keep eating the sugars, you're getting diabetes. Now the way out of it is stop eating the sugar. And the way out of a lot of stuff, the way out of cancer, don't eat sugar. Boom, there goes cancer. You don't have it anymore. But again, people just don't know because it's not out there. Not that people don't want to know, they don't know where to go or they trust the wrong person. You go to your doctor. What does he do? He gives you all this medicine to get rid of your cancer or your diabetes. there's a guy at the pool and he wears this little plastic thing on his arm. I go, well, fuck, you got diabetes. What are you doing? You can't use insulin. That'll kill you. You've got to get off of sugar. He doesn't listen to me. So guess what? I don't talk to him. I just tell him the fuck. He comes up to me and I say, fuck off. If you don't respect me enough to listen to me, and I'm giving you things that are real, if you don't want to listen to me, then why do we have a conversation afterwards? Why do I want to talk to you next week? If you're not going to listen to me, it means you don't respect me. And if you don't respect me, why do I want to talk to anybody who doesn't respect me? It's a mutual respect. It's like what Real D's talking about. I talk, he listens, he talks, I listen, and we both gain. I try to help Bobby out by getting out of his contract and getting it into gold because he's getting so fucked. His $1 million a year is now worth 10 grand. But take the $1 million and buy gold and silver with it. So I'm trying to protect him. But that's where you're at. It's just simply we're losing that communication with other people. People are so judgmental, and it's just great. And then you get a lot. I'm sitting at swim, and there's fucking half the people don't speak English. You got the Egyptians or the Middle Eastern people that they don't even wear bathing suits. They just wear, they got to keep covered and everything. And I'm listening. I'm on, I think I'm on Tubi or something, watching a movie, and all of a sudden this commercial comes on in Spanish. The fuck is there a commercial in Spanish on Tubi? Who are you selling to? How many Spaniards are watching Tubi versus Americans who don't know what the hell you're talking about? So it's a lot of different people that come in, and it's making it even harder to talk to. So I don't know. I go to the restaurant once in a while really to get out. I went to Coney last night, had a burger. I prefer to cook my own, but sometimes I just want to get out of the apartment. And it's ridiculous. It's a very difficult, strange life we're living now, where you're kind of alone and you kind of don't really know who to trust. You can't trust your doctor. You can't trust your financial planner. I hear that all the time. Buy gold. Well, let me talk to my financial planner. Oh, yeah, I'm not supposed to buy gold. Yeah, because he doesn't make commission on it. That's why you don't have any gold. He wants you in stocks and real estate trust and annuities, because that's where he makes his commission, because it's a job and it's about him making commission, not about you surviving. And people don't understand that. Well, I went to my financial. Okay, fine. Go there, you'll be broke. I listen to retirement planners, on the weekend going to the pool. We're going to get Chinese or something, and they'll be the financial planners. Oh, you got to own stocks and this. And they never talk gold. Buy stocks, buy annuities, and you buy dividend stocks when you retire, and you got growth stocks when you're, early stages. Yeah, but when the market crashes, you fucked all these people up. Then they start talking, well, if the market does crash, it always bounces back. Yeah, it took Japan, I think, 30 years for their market. It crashed in the late 80s. It's never come back. A market does not always come back. Yeah, we had 2008 and then it came back. That's because the government printed money. Well, they can't keep printing money to keep the stock market up to say, hey, look at our economy. It's all bullshit. That's what they're doing. But it's just bullshit. They're not telling you the truth, but you don't know the truth. Until you meet a guy like me who tells you the truth, you don't know it. So you might go on YouTube and look at some of these idiots. Oh, I'll listen to Andy Scheckman. I'll listen to Peter Schiff. Yeah, they're idiots. You're not going to learn anything. Egon tells you, but who's going to find Egon? There's a little guy in Switzerland. So I tell you, basically, not only do I tell you what's happening, but why it's happening and the solution, which is gold and silver. Now, I don't push gold and silver for only reason is it's the only solution. That's why I bring you Titanic. You're on the Titanic. The only way you're going to survive is to get into a lifeboat. Otherwise, you're not surviving. And in this case, the money is the Titanic and the gold and silver are the lifeboats. That's the only way you're surviving. And that's it. Now, you don't believe it, or well, wait, let me get an opinion of my financial planner who will never tell me to buy gold because he gets no commission on it. People call me up to be like a financial planner. I says, well, I can't do it because I would never tell anybody to go into stocks right now because I'm not going to hurt people. I'm not going to make the company rich by putting them in Apple and Amazon stock when I know it's all going to crash. And I would prefer them in gold because they'll actually survive. Because that's what I'm about, not your fucking little profits of commission by lying to people to put their money into overvalued stocks instead of into gold and silver. So I just flatly say, I'm only going to sell gold. And they say, well, then you can't have the job. And I go, fuck you. I don't want the job. I don't want to lie to people. Who wants to lie to people? People who lie to people for money are a bunch of idiots. They get what they get, what they deserve. David, doctors get paid to give you meds from the pharmaceutical companies. Well, doctors usually used to cure you. Now they don't. Now they, like if I go in with my gout, they give me a pill. They kind of explain what gout is. It's too much acid. And they kind of say, well, don't drink beer or these other, and they tell them I don't drink beer. I don't drink beer. I don't have a lot of seafood except for salmon and tuna. And but I still get it, and I think it's in the meat. I think it's what they put in the meat, the hormones or whatever, is making my gout really flare up. But lately, my gout's I haven't had it, and I was getting it a lot, and now like for the last 6 weeks, I haven't had any of it. So I'm pretty happy with that. But that's the point. You got to be you just have to be careful. But you've got to be open-minded enough to not stupidly just ask your financial planner. That's why I look for Barbara O'Neill. And you want to get a cold cured, put onions on your feet. Well, is the doctor ever going to say that? Never, never in a million years. They'll put you on antibiotics, or mine had me on amoxicillin. Did she mention onions on my feet? No. Why not? Well, she won't make money selling the amoxicillin. Oh, fuck that. But that's the point. And they will never tell you to buy gold because there's no commission in it. And to say there's no dividends on it, it's not a stock. It's fucking gold, and the price goes up. So there is an investment to it. So you own a Mantle card. Are you getting dividends on a Mantle card? No. But the price goes up because it's a Mantle card and it's limited. Or the Montana rookie, it's a PSA 10, it's worth $100,000. I paid $100 for mine. So the price went up. No, there's no dividends. The only thing dividends is stocks. So if it's not stocks, you're not going to get dividends in anything. Or Warren Buffett, well, it just sits there. It doesn't, it's a paperweight. Well, it's a pretty expensive paperweight. Well, how about my Van Gogh? It's a poster, but how about my Van Gogh right there? It doesn't give you dividends. Now, if it was real, it'd be worth $1 million. Well, how is it worth $1 million? Oh, the price went up. Oh, so the value went up. Oh, and that's what happens with gold and silver, right, Warren Buffett? Or are you too fucking stupid to not understand that concept? Well, it doesn't give dividends, and it just sits there. Well, what is my painting? It just sits on the wall. That's a poster, but if you had a real one, it just sits on the wall. Or a Rolex, you just tell time with it if you even wear it. You probably wouldn't even wear it if it's worth $50,000, $60,000. Your Mantle card, what do you do with that? It's owning an asset that's worth a lot doesn't require it to give you a dividend. That's not why you buy it. And if you're lucky enough that it's worth something, it's worth something because the value goes up because the demand goes up. Everybody wants a Mantle card or Willie Mays or Koufax, as we saw in the World Series and all that shit. Anyway, well, doctors get paid to just because you're so ingrained that if you're sick, you go to a doctor. You don't have to go to a doctor. You can see Dr. Barbara O'Neill or their other guy, Steffenberg, see their things like I did, and I put onions on my feet. I didn't go to a doctor. Well, indirectly, I went to a doctor who I didn't pay. She didn't make money off of me at all, and she didn't make money off of me saying, "Put onions on your feet." She did teach me that my feet were vital organs, and then I already had the onions, so the cure was great. She didn't make a penny off of me, but it cured me. That's what she's doing. She's doing like what I'm doing. I'm not making any money off of you in economics. Football, I'm trying to make you money so you can buy gold and silver. But in economics, I don't make you go buy gold. Great. I just now you have gold and silver, and now your values keeps going up. You're making money. Good. I don't make anything out of it. What I make out of it is that seeing you guys being successful and surviving, because you're going to need it, and I want to make sure you have it. And there's no other reason for it. The football, yes, I'm trying to sell my picks, but they're the best picks. I was talking to my friend. He says, "Oh, there's this guy in Vegas, and he like guarantees the games, and if you buy from him." And it loses, he'll give you 50 credits, not cash. You'll get credits that go to the next game. Well, if they keep losing, what good is because I'm betting on it. So I said, well, I give free picks. I don't guarantee anything because it's impossible, but I give free picks that we all hope win. So anyway, I have posted about 4 picks, mostly pros, and I have posted a college pro lock. So that's posted last night. I just saw the games. And I just said, yeah, this is a nice game, nice picks, and off I go. So the lock's posted. The picks, they're posted. Well, some of them I post more as I see them. Like I said last week, I didn't even have Mississippi State on my radar until I watched the Texas game on YouTube, and I said, yeah, Blake Shapen's really good. They're scoring a lot of points, and they get Arkansas. It was like it was the perfect storm, and Arkansas gives up 40 a game, like Notre Dame, A&M, and they score a lot. So I said, well, it was 38-35. Mississippi State won 73. Total was 60. So we went over. That was a big lock. That was the 25-unit lock. And it was just simply, I stumbled onto it because I'm watching the game and I'm looking their offense and their defense. But when you put up 35 on Texas, you got my attention, or 38. UConn played poorly. Well, yeah, it's a matchup. That's the problem with it's getting very more difficult picking the games, finding when they play good, when they play bad. That's why I tend to look at the defense. So if I see, like yesterday, UMass is playing Akron, and I'm looking at the defense, and UMass has a 35 defense and Akron a 29. So Akron should score on UMass. They beat them 44-10. So the key matchup point I'm getting to is the defense. And I gotta fill in my college. But like Houston plays UCF. UCF's got an 18 defense. Well, I'm not going to play Houston, and they've been playing like shit. I forgot. Okay, I got to fill in. I got to fill in the rest of my rating. I've done the ratings. I just haven't. I've started a few. There's so many in college. I started a few conferences. I got to go through more. The pros are all set. So let's go through the pros. Gold 39.82. It got up to 39.90. It slid back. Silver 48.12. So we're looking good. Let's check the news out. So really not a lot in the trading deadline. There usually isn't in football as much as baseball and basketball. So there's a little bit of the Colts got a guy from the Jets. So the Jets traded their few players that they have. bad coaching. And they were a 2-point favorite. They're now a 2-point dog, which we'll get into. I love this. NFL 20, how to watch every game during the week. Oh, it's either on Fox or it's on CBS or that. We know how to work a TV. What kind of stupid point is that? Excuse me. I'm not, it's too much of the trade deadline. I'm not seeing the injuries. All right, let's go. Denver is 942.5. I probably need to go to the other one. So if I go into scores and odds, I get the multiple. All right, let's see. Yeah, Denver is 9, not 9.5. Okay. See, one site has them at 9.5, but a lot of the other sites have them at 9. So nines, pretty much nines, and a few 9.5. All right, so Denver 942.5. This game's on Thursday, which is tomorrow. Denver, very strong home favorite. Oakland, not a great teaser team. Again, the strong teams, the Buffaloes, Kansas City. Well, let's see. Here's your strong teams in a teaser: Tampa, the Rams, Denver, Houston, Seattle, Indy, New England, and Arizona. So you can see the better teams, except for Arizona, are really good in a teaser. Play against the Jets, Miami, Tennessee, Cincy, Philly, New Orleans, and Jacksonville. So Philly's kind of got their blinders on. Oh, we won the World Series, the world. We won the Super Bowl last year, so we're not going to try. But otherwise, it's mostly the bad teams. The Raiders do their best to lose. Well, yeah, I don't know. They got Brock Bowers back, so they played a lot better at home to Jacksonville. But Denver's going to be a tough place to play and a tough game. Indy 6.5, 48.5, up from 5.5. Penix against Jones. Let's go through. Oakland's a W team with the 26 defense and Geno Smith. Denver is a B team with an 18 defense and Bo Nix. Denver clearly the better team here. Atlanta, an under team with a 22 defense and Penix against Indy, an 18 with a 20 defense and Jones. So Atlanta doesn't score that much. That's why they're an under team, even though they got the 22 defense. Indy scores 26-27. They didn't get that much against Pitt. They only got 20. So they lost twice to the Rams and Pitt, 27-20. And then they beat a bunch of crap teams. So we're still trying to assess Indy. With Penix, Atlanta's a totally different team. Obviously, Kirk Cousins stinks. How he got drafted, and he's a quarterback in the league, and they paid him this money. They're out of their fucking minds. He's nowhere near Penix. Penix is 10 times better. Raiders can score more with Brock Bowers. Well, of course. I mean, he draws the double team. He opens things up for Gentry and the other receivers, of course. That's why when you got injuries, you got to be careful how to play the game. Cleveland, 2.5, 37.5. To the JETSs, Cleveland, a W team with a 23, Dylan Gabriel. The JETSs are a W with the 28 defense, and it's got to be worse if they lost a linebacker and a Sauce Gardner, that, and Fields, who still stinks. He didn't get any better. Carolina 5.5, 39.5 to the New Orleans. You've got New Orleans with Z team, 27 defense and Tyler Shaw. They're just really, they still have Kamara and Olavi, but they did trade Shaheed to Seattle, which I was surprised by. And then Carolina is, I'm trying to figure them out, an under team with the 23 defense statistically. However, you go into Green Bay and win, that's big. Steve Young's terrible, the quarterback, but their defense looks pretty good. New Orleans is Z team, so New Orleans isn't going to score much. Carolina, might score a little on New Orleans. Their defense will be decent, so we'll see. The Bills 9.5, 50.5 to Miami. Let's see if there's anything else. No, it's 9.5 everywhere. It's a bad number and a 50.5. This is not a game you go over with because Miami's probably not going to score much. Buffalo and A team, 21 defense, Josh Allen. They just come off beating Kansas City. Well, they'll be flat this week. Well, no, they're still trail New England. They're still in second place, and that keeps the motivation going. Against Miami, a W team with the 27 and Tagliabue, who's terrible. So, I mean, the A's should win. It's at Miami, should help them. So I think Buffalo is playing well now. They beat KC. They beat Carolina 2 weeks in a row. Houston, 1.5, 38.5. Let's see if there's any other totals that we want. Ones, 1.5. Total, 38, 37.5, 38.5. Yeah, so 38.5. If we want to go under, we want 38.5. And there's 1.5 on Houston. Jacksonville, an under team, 23 defense, Trevor Lawrence. Houston, an under team, 15 defense. Stroud had a concussion, left the game. Maybe it's Davis Mills or maybe Stroud, which we probably won't know till Friday. We got Baltimore, 4.5, 48.5. Up from 3.5, I think. 4.5. So there's 4s and 4.5s. All right. So we'll call it 4 and a 48. Baltimore an over team with the 27 defense and Lamar, who's back. Minnesota is an under team with the 23 JJ McCarthy, who's terrible. And here's where you really got, well, wait a minute. Minnesota just beat Detroit. It was not McCarthy. It was their defense. They're going to give Lamar all he wants. This is not a good place for Lamar facing a strong defense, 23 defense, who just basically killed the running game of Detroit, killed Goff, got him off his spot. They're going to be all over Lamar. This is not a good place for Lamar. I don't know that Baltimore can win this game. Minnesota at home. They're 7-0 as a home dog the last year, 24 and 25. And Baltimore's 15-3 as a road favorite. So it becomes, which way do you go? So you look at the defense, Baltimore with the 27 defense. That's going to hurt them. Minnesota put up 27 on Detroit. I think that was McCarthy throwing a few. I know he hit Jefferson and I know he hit Hockenson. And then in the second half. So we know McCarthy sucks, but he had a good game. You know, the blind squirrel is going to catch a nut once in a while. So we will see, but it's going to be a tight game, I think, for Baltimore. This is not Miami, we sell. See, that's why we look at the defense. When we look at the Minnesota defense, we go, ooh, 23 defense, but you just beat the Lions. Okay, it was a 51. Maybe you go over because Baltimore scores and has no defense, sort of like the Lions. Detroit's a B team with a 22 defense, right? So Minnesota could move. J.J. McCarthy, maybe he's learned how to throw a 10-yard pass. We'll see. Baltimore's defense has been their Achilles this year. So we don't have enough real information here. We can, let's bet Baltimore, but I don't think this is a spot you want to bet Baltimore. I think this is a spot you want to take Minnesota, but you're afraid of Baltimore, but really their defense isn't any good. So, yeah, beating Miami 28-7 last week doesn't really say they got a great defense. It was Tag, and he sucks. All right. Tampa, 348.5 here to New England. New England, a B team with a 19 defense, strong defense. Drake May. Let's run through Drake May's stats because I hear how good he is, and I don't buy it. He's 17 touchdowns, 4 picks, which is excellent. However, 34 sacks, and he wants to run too much. Tampa Bay, an E team with a 22. The Baker, excellent quarterback. And then here, Tampa Bay is 12-2 as a home favorite and 39-6 the last 3 years. So they are very strong. I can't use New England because it's only 6 games or 9 games in or 8 games. And with the new coach and the new quarterback, I don't have enough data on them. How are they going to play at Tampa? Very good game. I be careful with Tampa. But this is teaser trend. You would want Tampa, but New England also is fairly good in a teaser this year. I think they're 7-1. So it's a be careful. It's like the Baltimore Minnesota game. You got to be careful playing that tough defense. And Tampa Bay still is a 22 defense, and New England a 19. This could be low scoring, but that's what you got to differentiate. I took the Utah game over, even though both defenses last week were very good, Utah and Cincinnati, and then Utah put a whoop ass on them, but it did go over because my gut, unlike the AI, I got it. The Bears 3.5, 47.5. This has been going 3.5, 4.5, 3.5. All right, and 47.5. Giants, a W team with a 28 defense and Dart, and Chicago, an over team with the 28 defense and Caleb. So Chicago's defense, the coach comes in, all he cares about is offense, but you can't win with a bad defense. Both defenses are 28. The Giants don't have a good defense. The problem with the Giants, they lost Scatterboo. As you can see, the Niners beat them up. The Bears will score on them. They are a high-scoring team. Had I known that Flacco was playing last week, that would have been my lock over. But, by the time you found out on Saturday, I already had my picks in. So I'm trying to be wiser if I can. So Dart, how good is he? We're learning. Caleb, he sucks. Now he's throwing better plays because the design, let's run a triple reverse throw back to the quarterback. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that one. So Caleb caught 2 passes. What the fuck? He's your quarterback, not to catch passes. So the coach is a little bit strange, let's say. The play calls doing 12 reverses, throwing back to the quarterback. I don't know what that is. That's not football. So be careful. Can the Giants win the game? I don't. Well, they could because the Bears are such a bad defense. So where we're looking at Baltimore playing Minnesota's defense, we are now looking at we are now looking at two bad defenses. So if Baltimore is playing Chicago, well, they played Chicago and I think they won 16-6 or 24-6 or something. But again, you can see the Bears defense is a 28. It's not great. Neither is the Giants. So you got to be careful with that. Let's see, David. Lamar is back. Well, that's true. Cincy is definitely an over team. Yeah. Caleb is bad. Yeah. Drake May is playing good. Maybe. That's a question for the matchup. So New England beat, who did they beat last week? They beat Atlanta 24-23. Is he back? Is he good? I don't know. He's playing good. You got 24 up on Atlanta. Atlanta could have won the game. They went for 2 at the end and lost. And as I say, kick your. I don't even know if they went for 2. No, the guy missed the extra point, actually. So since whoever, Atlanta will be looking for a new kicker. Yeah, he missed the extra point. They didn't go for 2. Okay, so the Bears could win. The Giants, we'll see how good Dart is without Scatterboo. With Scatterboo, this isn't over. Without him, I'm not sure. Seahawks, 6.5, 45.5. To Arizona. Arizona, an under team with a 21 defense. Brissett, who's playing very well, beat Dallas. Very good. Buda Baker, very good. Seattle, an A team with a 19 defense, and Darnold, who's playing very well. I don't think this is as easy as, let's take Seattle and they're going to win. They're not a good home team, Seattle. They're much better on the road. Arizona is just, Brissett's much better than Kyler Murray, which is hard to believe. I don't know. Arizona, an under team with a 21 defense. Pretty good. And Seattle, A with the 19. Seattle picked up the receiver from Shaheed from New Orleans, who's pretty good. That'll help them. Although you wonder why they got rid of DK Metcalf. So we'll see. Well, they should never have drafted Smith-Njigba. He's not that good. And you already had DK Metcalf and Lockett. So to get rid of Metcalf and Lockett, I assume for money reasons, because Metcalf is probably making $25 million. And Smith-Njigba is on a rookie contract. So I assume that's what happened. That's why you think you don't understand the trade. They're money trades. I don't want to pay. That's why Boston traded Babe Ruth to the Yankees, was the money. Boston was broke. They couldn't afford him. So they traded him to the Yankees for nobody because it was a money trade. It wasn't anything else. Let's see. So Seattle, the A team, the 19. Seattle's probably the better team. I think this will be a good game. Detroit goes to Washington. Detroit 8.5, 49.5. Let's see. There's a 9. There's a 9.5. The 8.5. The 9.5. Some more 8.5. Some more 9s. So it's pretty much there. So it's pretty much an 8.5. Detroit was our free play last week, and they lost the mini because of the defense. So here, A, Detroit's 13-1 is a road favorite. B, Washington's a W team with the 26 defense. And C, you don't have to worry about Daniels. You got Mariota. Detroit does have some offensive line injuries. Their defense is pretty weak. They can they? The key was Minnesota did not let them run the ball. Because of their offensive line, Detroit, they should be able to run it on Washington. So we will see there. But anyway, Detroit, a B team with a 22 defense. So they should be able to move on Washington with this 26 defense. And Mariota is certainly not all that as Jalen is, of course. The Rams and the Niners. The Rams are, let's see. I see 4.5, 4, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 3.5, 4, 4, 4. So we'll call it 3.5, and we'll call it 49. We got an 8 team in the Rams, 16 defense. Stafford, 21 touchdown passes, leads the league. And they're 38-7, their last 45 in a teaser, the last couple of years. San Francisco is an under team with the 21. Mac Jones going. Pretty sad when you're back up and your starter and you don't know who's who, Purdy or Jones. Purdy with a hurt toe. Sounds like Joe Burrow. And a lot of injuries. The Niners actually beat them in the Thursday night game at LA, and now we've got a little payback for the Rams, maybe. 16 defense Rams, 21 the Niners. We will see. It's a tough play because they're a road favorite, and it's at the Niners. They're always a good team at home. So it's not an easy. It's a 21 defense. So there could easily be an upset here. So it's probably not the game to attack, although I think the Rams win. But like I say, it's tough. San Diego 344.5 to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh an over team with the 24 defense, Aaron Rodgers. San Diego an under team with the 21 defense. Jesus Christ. San Diego an under team with the 21 defense. I don't buy their 21 defense. Recently, it's not been that good. And Herbert, Rodgers much better than Herbert. Herbert, I don't know. He's not doing things. A lot of turnovers. Pitt an over team. So with Rodgers, they're going to score. They're getting better. Their defense is down to a 24. So, and they beat Indy, the best team in the league, maybe, except for Kansas City, Buffalo, and Denver. They're the best. San Diego is just not that strong, and they're a favorite. We'll see here. I'm not buying the 21 defense. I'll have to look at last 5 games. And our Monday night game is Green Bay 2.5, 44.5. Let's see what else we got. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. It's all 2.5. So that spreads 2.5 and 45.5. Philly an E team with the 23 defense. They're an E team because they got a 23 offense. And the same with Green Bay. They're in the mid-20s with the 21 defense. So the defense isn't as good as it should be with Micah Parsons. Hurts against Love. I think it's more Barkley against Love. After what Carolina did to Green Bay, I look for Philadelphia to run the ball a lot on Green Bay, which probably turns this into an under game, possibly. Philly will come. They had a bye, so their defense should be well rested. Love, they lost to Carolina. Are you fucking kidding me? 16-13. What do you want me to say? You couldn't have predicted that, and that leads you to how do you predict this after that? And that's the problem with football now. You have such inconsistent. You have such bad coaching. You have such bad quarterbacking that. 1 week they're very good. Drake May's good, and then next week he's not. Daniel Jones, he's good until he throws 4 interceptions against the Steelers, and he's not. And this is the problem, a lot of inconsistency, which is why we go to the defense as the tall tale. So I've already posted 4 of these games that I just talked about. If you want to buy, you can buy the locks, you can buy the plays, you can buy that. If you want to buy the rest of the year, $500. $500 will get you through the Super Bowl, college playoffs. It gets you. We're in week 10. There's 18 weeks, so that's 8 weeks. At $100 is $800 plus the playoffs, another 4 weeks. So that's about $1,200. So for 400, people ask me about that, and I go, well, it's such a discount, the 750 in the beginning to start with, that it's like, yeah, I know it's the middle of the year, so I will go down to 500 for my friends. Um, if you make a deal with me, you must honor it. If you don't honor it, go find another handicapper. I'm not in business to uh, get fucked over by people who can't honor a contract. You make a contract with me if you're going to go and say, oh, I'm going to pay you so much each month. That's a contract. You owe that money. I agree to it and I give you a deal on it, then you have to honor it. If you don't, I'm not here to fuck around. I'm stoic and I'm not here to get taken advantage of. Fuck. It's just the way it is. But don't go into a contract with me and then renege on it. You won't be back. I have no tolerance for that. There's enough with the government fucking everybody over and enough with the dollar fucking everybody over that I don't need family fucking me over. It's not going to work. You're out of the family freedom. You're Fredo Corleone. You're out of the family business. That's your punishment. So that's college. That's pro. So I've graded the teams, and again, at this point now, you have 9 weeks, 8 weeks most of the time because of these buys. So basically, you have 8 weeks of games. You're starting to get good trends. I'm using last year with this year when I can. I can do it with about half the teams. I can't do it with Caleb. He's got a new coach. I can't do it with the Giants. They got third. I can't do it with New England. They got a new coach. So there's a lot of teams. The turnover is so quick that you can't go year to year. You're either getting the bad teams are getting a new quarterback and a new coach. Now the good teams, Buffalo, you can do 2-3 years, and Baltimore and Kansas City, and now Denver, you got Bo Nix. You can go a year and a half on him. Even San Diego, you got a new coach. So there's just so many bad hires, bad coaches, bad quarterbacks that they get in it. They walk. Oh, you've been there a year. You're no good. We'll get a new one. Well, it really fucks up people like me who are trying to use data analysis, trend analysis. You can't even use it. So you got to be creative and come up with, well, how's their defense look? How's the quarterback look? You got New Orleans. I can't use anything. I got a new quarterback who's just played one game and a coach who's been there for 8 or 9. And Kellen Moore doesn't know what he's doing, and he has no talent. So you have to have more than one way to skin a cat. And fortunately, being very analytical, I'm able to do that. So that's pros. College tonight, we got Toledo 14-41 over Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, an under team, 22 defense, not too much in the quarterback. Toledo, an A team with the 16 defense. They're the best team in the MAC. But you're laying 14, but the game's in Toledo, and a 41. And then the other game is Ball State and Kent. Ball State is 3-46. The game's in Ball State, which I believe is in Kentucky. No, that's Bowling Green. Ball State's, I think, in Indiana. Kent's a W team with a 36 defense. Ball State, a Z with a 29. So probably you get a high scoring game because the defenses are so bad that the offenses, even if they're bad, when they see a bad defense, they do better. That's today. Let's look at key games. USC 14-51 over Northwestern. Now, in that game last week with Nebraska, the quarterback broke his leg. Nebraska's got a new quarterback going. He's a freshman. I don't know. They're playing UCLA. And UCLA is a 1.5 point favorite, 44, which is, I don't know what to make of that. UCLA is playing much better with the new Heisel kid being the offensive coordinator. And then you got Nebraska with a new quarterback, basically. Good defense, new quarterback. So it's a hard game to just say, oh, we're going to take UCLA because they're hot and the quarterback's out, although that's part of it. So USC, they play much better at home. Northwestern gets to travel to the West Coast. USC did beat Michigan there. They did beat Nebraska last week. Again, the game changed when the guy broke his leg. Then USC went to a running game to protect the lead instead of had Rayola still been in there. He scores, and then USC scores, and then you get your over. So it was a little frustrating. Indiana 14-50 against Penn State. What can you say? Indiana looks unbelievable. Strong run, strong pass, good quarterback, good defense. Penn State, new quarterback, new coach. What do you do with that? They played with Ohio State a little. Indiana 14, Indiana 50. Indiana just scores on you. They just fucking score. I mean, it's 7, it's 14. They get a pick 6. They just keep scoring. They keep putting out these blowouts. Except for the Iowa game was the only one, 19-14. Otherwise, everything's a blowout for them. Illinois was 63-7. Let's see. Georgia 7.5, 57.5 to Old Mississippi State. Old Mississippi State found Blake Shapen and they're scoring, and they scored a lot against Texas. Georgia played Tennessee to a high-scoring game, and I think they played another high-scoring game. Georgia's defense isn't what it used to be. Old Mississippi State, they have been scoring lately, and when they won at Arkansas 38-35. BYU Texas Tech. This is the game of the week. Both A teams. Texas Tech 10.5, 52. BYU 17 defense beat Utah. That is not easy to do. Texas Tech a 13 defense also beat Utah, and that's not. I think Utah had an injury in the game. Their quarterback got hurt. Dampier. This is a strong game. Do we take Tech? Do we take BYU? Is BYU a live dog? And then what do we do with the total? It looks like two pretty good defenses, but they're pretty good offenses too. So the normal rule of thumb when A plays A, you take the dog, and you're probably 75, 80%. So I don't know, but I don't really want to fuck against Texas Tech. I really don't want to bet against BYU. So we will have to see, but that's the game of the week. Let's see. Ohio State 28-49 to Purdue. Purdue, not bad. They played Michigan 21-17. They were able to score on Michigan and hold them down. New coach from Vegas. So he's a pretty good coach. Do we trust? This is like this one. I can feel Ohio State's not going to blow them out. I don't think they can get up. They just played Penn State. They're going to Purdue as 28-point favorites. If you're ever going to be flat, it's here. Can Purdue win? I don't think so. Can Purdue keep it close? I do like their quarterback, but he throws a lot of interceptions. Ohio State's been scoring on these long passes. You don't know why Penn State didn't play a two-deep zone and just keep everything in front of them, which would have made sense, and we would have won our under with it. However, I'd be more comfortable with Indiana laying 28 to Purdue than Ohio State laying 28 Purdue. Again, it's a lot of long passes, which I don't think Purdue's going to let them have. Purdue's already played Notre Dame and USC, so they've seen the big passing game. So I don't know, but they haven't seen the defense, although Notre Dame's defense was good, and Notre Dame lit them up pretty big. So it's a tough game, but it could be, again, 28 is a big number in conference to a team like a Purdue who's not a Z team. Let's see. Duke goes to Connecticut. For you, David. Duke's strong team, good quarterback. They score. They beat Clemson last week, 45-44 or something. They hit the 2-point conversion. Normally, I hate the 2-point conversion taking, but yeah, beating Clemson, I don't mind it. Connecticut, good quarterback. Mora Jr.'s the coach. They got a B team, 24 defense. I haven't done Duke yet, but I know they're pretty much an over team. And total of 66. This is gonna be high scoring, I believe. Iowa State, TCU 6.5 and 50. I believe that's a 50. Could be a 58. I can't read my writing. Iowa State an E team, but they don't look good. 22 defense. They got killed by Cincinnati. They got killed last week. Something's not right with Iowa State. TCU an over team with a 25 defense. We'll see. This normally would be an over. It's TCU, but we'll have to see. Kansas goes to Arizona. Arizona, the A team with the 20 defense. Kansas over team with the 25. Good quarterback, Daniels. Throws for a lot of yards, but their defense, I don't know. They're not playing well. So Arizona 6 and 56. David. I think we already did. Caleb's Bay. Yeah, Drake. Okay, we already talked about that. Arizona is a pretty good team this year. At home, 656. Maybe an over. I don't know. I have to look because Kansas will score on you, but they don't. And they're an over team. Oregon goes to Iowa in an interesting game. Oregon 6 and 44. We know Iowa, strong defense. Played Indiana 1913, which is or 19. I think they won by 6, 1913. So able to hold Indiana down, which makes sense. Indiana's a running team pretty much, and then they mix in some passes. And we got Iowa here, who the strong defense. We got Oregon, who went to Penn State when they were actually a team and got a 17-3 lead, and then it went to overtime 17-17. So you can't trust the weightouts. 6 and 44. Is it an under? It's hard to play Iowa or Oregon under. But Iowa, they're going to run the ball and play defense like they do. They're primarily, and this is probably the biggest Iowa total in 5 years, 44. Usually it's in the 30s. Oregon can't score. I don't like their quarterback, all that. And I think you're going to get a Penn State score of 17 all was the score at the end of the game. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see that here. It's tough defense, Iowa. A&M 649 to Missouri. Again, the quarterback's out for Missouri. Missouri's an 18 with the 16. I'm a little surprised by this spread being 6. It is in Missouri, but you don't have your quarterback. So again, how do you bet it? We don't know who their backup is. You assume the coach has a brain in his head, which we shouldn't do, and that the backup is not as good as Prabula, who was very good, who was Penn State's backup. So, the backup's in, they're going to lose. It doesn't look like it. It's a 6. A&M can score. We like Reed, good quarterback. A good Raider quarterback for you, David. So we'll see what they do, but I think A&M. I don't know. We'll have to see who the Missouri quarterback is, the backup. Auburn against Vandy. Vandy 7.5, 46. Daggio. Auburn fired their coach Hugh Freeze. They have a fairly good defense. Jackson Arnold was a running quarterback. Vandy's been playing very good at home. And, yeah, it was a tough loss to Texas. Texas's speed got him. I don't think Auburn's got the speed to get him. So I think Vandy will continue with Daggio. He's too good. Washington 11-45 at Wisconsin. Wisconsin with no quarterback. Good defensive team. Washington went to Maryland, played them 28-24, 52. Here you got them at 45. Wisconsin just doesn't have an offense. Pretty good defense. They played Michigan close. They played another game. I think Ohio State was an under. So probably an under because Wisconsin, strong defense, no offense. Uh, Air Force, San Jose State. San Jose State, 4.5, 66. Air Force, a very strong offense and no defense. I think they beat the Army last week. San Jose State, very good offense. I don't have their numbers in. I think they got a pretty good defense. Well, let's see. They're they're an over team with a 29 defense, so maybe got a last week they beat Hawaii 45-38. So they can score. San Jose State. Yeah, they'll put up a big number on Air Force, but Air Force can score. So keep your eye on Old Mississippi State. They're an over team. San Jose State is now it only took me 10 weeks to find San Jose State. The other team, San Diego State, who's an A team, who's a very good team, is at Hawaii. The last game, 5.5, 51. Be Larry, San Diego State. They're a very good team. Although I got to find one of their games on YouTube and watch them. Cal goes to Louisville. Louisville 18-50. They did beat Miami, but now so did SMU. Cal's pretty good, but now they got to fly to Louisville versus staying on the West Coast, so that's going to bother them a little. Louisville is a pretty good team here. Our Virginia team, 6-48 to Wake. Wake got killed by Florida State last week. Virginia just keeps rolling. They went out to Stanford or Cal, one of them, and they won by 10. So they're very good. We like their quarterback, Morris. Florida State and Clemson. What a great game this should have been, but no, it's like Z team playing Z team. Florida State, terrible quarterback. And Clemson, I don't know what happened to Klubnik and their team. It's time for Debo to go. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the way I've been betting Clemson, I've been betting against Clemson, and I think that Florida State might be a live dog, or the total 55. Is it an over or an under? I don't know. I'll have to get into that. Navy goes against Notre Dame, plays them every year. Notre Dame 25-55 total. Notre Dame, an A team, obviously, with the 20 defense, must win because they've lost the 2 games. Navy, very good team. I think they lost last week to North Texas. Where is that? Here it is. North Texas won 31-17. North Texas, as we know, is an explosive offense. So now we got the Navy playing Notre Dame, who's got not as good of offense as North Texas does, but a better defense. Hard to go against Notre Dame in this game, but Navy, it's a rivalry game, so it's a lot of points. You get Navy. They can score. They are an A team. Don't kid yourself just because they're Navy. They're an A team. LSU, Alabama, 10.5, 49. LSU an E team, 18 defense. Alabama, 18. They had a bye after the South Carolina miracle. And the total of 49. Again, both teams with an 18 defense. I don't think LSU is going to score much. Alabama will get theirs at home. We'll have to see, but I don't think they have the killer defense that they played. It was like 10 years ago, and it was like a 9-6 game. It was a field goal game. I don't think we have that, but you do have a new coach for LSU, probably one of the coordinators, so not a lot will change, unfortunately. We're all big LSU fans, but I think Alabama here at home, I think, is the critical part, which should have been a good game. I'm surprised they fired Brian Kelly before this game. I could see if he loses this one, but I was surprised. Florida, Kentucky. Florida 3.5 45, an under team with a 20 defense. Kentucky a W 20. Kentucky just isn't playing very well this year. Florida is. Well, Florida's getting better. I shouldn't say they're better, but we'll see. So 3.5, but you got to go to Kentucky. So it's never easy to win on the SEC. And they're coming off the Georgia game, so this would be emotionally. They did lose it, but this will be emotional for them. Nebraska, UCLA, we already touched on. UCLA 1.5 44. Backup quarterback in. He's a freshman. We'll have to see, and that's it. So some good games. Again, there's 2 games tonight. I don't know how you bet these back games. I mean, you got to really be a degenerate that, it's football. I got to bet it. See, and that's what gold and silver do. It's like, you sure you want to bet that game, or you could buy 10 ounces of silver. It's funny. I used to play, when I'd play poker, it was $300. I play 300. I play 1-2 no limit, right? And I'd start with 300. I either got it to 1,000 or I lost the 300, or somewhere in between. And with silver, I'd say I don't want to. I'll buy 10 ounces of silver. Now I can only buy 6 ounces of silver. I can't buy 10 ounces of silver for 300. Now it's 500, and that's the trick with silver and gold that you don't understand. It keeps you still got the 10 ounces, but they're worth more. But how do you calculate? See, when you buy a stock, even though you bought 100 shares of Disney, you see the price of the stock, so you know you made money because your value in your account goes up. You don't see it with gold and silver. So if you bought silver at $20 an ounce and now it's $50 an ounce, you still just see the 20 ounces of silver there. So a little thing there. But anyway, so football, again, you're trying to identify matchups, how they're going to play. And that's where you got to be careful that's why we're looking to bet against the Z teams and the W teams, because we feel, they're going to score. They don't have a defense. They don't have an offense. They shouldn't do much to us. And that's really why I'm doing that, is the analytical part of me thinking, well, how are we going to pick this? How do I come up with something? Because the technical analysis doesn't work because of all these changes. So I had to revamp, and it's avoid these heavy defensive teams. And so I see Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy. I go, I'm taking the Lions because of J.J. McCarthy, not the defense. And then you've got, so now I'm not going to just run and play Baltimore because, okay, once you get me, but not twice. So now I'm very careful about going against Minnesota at home, and they have a very good chance of beating Baltimore. Because even though Lamar is back, Lamar still stinks. Then you've got, so you're looking for the soft defense where a good quarterback can get it, like Buffalo, Miami. So we look for here, Georgia State plays Coastal Carolina. Georgia State with the 40 defense. Oh, okay. Well, Coastal Carolina should score. It's a 40 defense. Question is, Coastal Carolina is a W team also. They don't score much. So you're looking at that. You're trying to be careful. Even Vandy, Auburn's got a 17 defense. So you got to be careful just taking Daggio in that game. You'd rather have him in a game with the defense of 35 or something. He'll take advantage of it. So that's what we're looking at is, we found San Jose State. They're an over team. Mississippi State, they're an over team. And now, depending on, like it was perfect last week against Arkansas, who has no defense, who can score. And so that's really what you're looking at. You're trying to match up the same type of teams. 2 good defenses, BYU, Texas Tech. However, they're both really strong A teams, but do we take the dog? Do we take Texas Tech, who's very good? Do we take the under? And so we're looking at the best way to play that, right? Which way do we go? and that's the key to it. So you're trying to think what's the most strongest tell, right? So we're looking at tells. We play poker. We see the tell. Oh, he's bluffing or he's got a good hand. And here, what's the tell that tells us how to bet the game? And so we're using defense and we're using the ranks and we're using the quarterback and we're trying to say, oh, let's just bet on Daggio and let's bet on Baylor's guy and let's bet on, Texas A&M's guy. So it looks kind of too tempting. A&M, Missouri, no quarterback. UCLA, Nebraska, no quarterback on Nebraska. Looks too easy, so you don't want to get caught in that trap. You don't want to make that the reason to bet it. You still want to look at the defense. You still want to kind of trust it. But it looks like a big advantage, even though we don't know how good the backup is. If he was any good, he probably wouldn't have been the backup. Although coaches are idiots and don't always, Cam Rising was a backup. Two guys got hurt, and he finally came in, and he's lighting it up. And you're like, what kind of idiot coach didn't know that Cam Rising was this? Because it was like 4 or 5 games in the season. He's on the bench, not hurt. He's on the bench because he's the third string quarterback. And then boom. And you're like, how do you not know this guy is a superstar? So you really don't know until they play how good or bad. We are looking to bet against weak quarterbacks. We are looking to bet against weak defenses, and we do want to bet strong defenses. So that's why the Baylor Texas or the BYU Texas Tech game is a tough one. A 17 defense against a 13 defense, and BYU beating Utah is amazing. Utah is a very strong team. They are off. That's what I don't like is when I lose Utah. I can't bet them because they're not playing. You're like, Jesus. Anyway, so that's college football. That's the pros. Pros will look at injuries. From what I know, C.J. Stroud had a concussion, which it didn't look like a concussion. It looked like he got hit in the shoulder. So you got C.J. Stroud questionable. Tyler Shaw playing because Rattler stinks. Steve Young came back, so he's okay. May and Baker, Gabriel and Fields. Lamar and JJ. So JJ did play. He looks healthy. I mean, he wasn't injured, so I don't know what the big deal was. Allen against Tug. Dart against Caleb. Loser game there. Brissett against Darnold. Golf and Mariota. We know Daniels is out. It's funny. We finally get Daniels back. He gets hurt. And apparently it was a running play. And this is the problem I have with the running quarterbacks. Why are you running your quarterback? If, give it to the running back. You need the quarterback to throw to the receivers. So I always get ridiculous when the Drake Mays and Lamar run. So here, Daniels ran and he broke his elbow apparently. So you're like, what are you doing? I don't question the guys in the game and they're down by 20 or 30 points. That's fine. They don't want to come out. It's just Sundays. It's once a week. Yeah, he has the right to stay in as long as you want. If the Pittsburgh's up 40-0, yeah, I don't mind Aaron Rodgers. He's out there. It's okay. He's playing. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But the game could be 20-20 and he gets hurt. So that's really, I don't buy taking players out to protect them from getting hurt. That's a bunch of bullshit. It's football. You could get just as easily hurt in the first quarter as the fourth quarter. So we know that Mariota's in. Stafford against Jones. Well, it could be Purdy, but okay. Rodgers against Herbert, a good matchup, and Hurts against Love. Neither quarterback's very good. I know people think Love's good, and it's not like I'm picking on Love. You just look at it. They lost to Carolina. Are you kidding me? You lost to Steve Young in Carolina. You don't tell me you're a good quarterback. Brady wouldn't lose that game. Manning wouldn't lose that game. Joe Montana would never lose that game. Joe Montana would never lose at home to a shit team. Never. That's why they go 12-2 and 13-1 a lot. They would lose if they had to go to play Lawrence Taylor or the Bears in Chicago. That's when they would lose. They'd play the big opponent, but not against the poor sisters of the blind. They would never lose that game. Teaser trends, I think I've talked. Tampa, LA, Houston, Denver are the big four. And then Arizona, New England, Indy, and Seattle. And to play against the Jets and Tennessee are horrible. Miami's terrible. Cincy, Arizona, Philly, New Orleans, and Jacksonville. However, Philly this week as a dog, I don't think I'm running to bet against. I'm not running to bet Green Bay after they lost to Carolina. Now, that's the problem. You look at last week, but okay, were they looking ahead to Philly? Maybe. Will Micah Parsons have a big day against Philly? Don't know. I think you're going to see Barkley a lot. I think we know Hurts has a problem. Philly's defense can come and play too, and they won at Kansas City, I believe. So I think this is a rare opportunity. We get Philly as a dog to Green Bay, who's not really a very strong team. They're okay, but they're not in Philly's class. Philly's the better team here, and you're getting points. So you got to keep that in mind. Most of the favorites are correct. I don't see any other kind of weak favorite. Maybe, Carolina's weak favorite 5.5, but they're playing New Orleans. And then you've got Cleveland is a 2-point road favorite at the JETS's. Good luck betting either team there. Baltimore is kind of a very questionable favorite at Minnesota. I'm not sure I would make Minnesota favored, but it's just they're at Minnesota. It's going to be a tougher game. Chicago probably a weak favorite, but they're playing the Giants. Otherwise, pretty much, pretty decent there. So that's football. As we go longer, we get more data, we get more information, we get more injuries, so we can play the teams much better. That's about it there. Let's see our gold. I think it was near 4,000 again. $39.85. It's been up to $39.89, so it's a pretty decent afternoon. We'll see 4,000 soon. 48.21. I guess Warren Buffett was wrong. He said that the gold and silver was going to crash and everybody's going to run and buy T-bills. What a fucking moron. This is why the more you say, the dumber you look in most cases. Fortunately, I don't have that problem. So 39.85. So where's the big crash, Warren? Oh, you're fucking out of your mind. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. People aren't getting out of gold and silver. Oh, it doesn't pay a dividend. Oh, yeah, it just goes up in price. So we bought it at 1,700. It's now 4,000. Yeah, there's no dividends there. Okay. So anyway, stay there. Anything else? Questions, comments? David, Real D, you still with us? Real D, you were really into it today. I'm not usually you say one or two things. You had a good time. I'm glad. I got to serve cocktails if I could feed them through the computer. I do have my Canadian club here. Have a Canadian club 12 year. You earned it, Real D. So that's basically it. You basically, the concept is to understand what you're doing before you do it. And you can't just ask anybody and feel like, oh, good, I got the answer. I mean, you go to Peter Schiff about gold or silver, you're not going to get a good answer. He doesn't understand inflation. You go to Egon, you're going to get a good answer. So it depends who I go to, who I can trust to get the right answer. And that's the key to it. I give you that, and you can trust me because there's no commission involved when we're talking economics. Even when we're talking football, you either buy the picks or you don't, but you get a good lesson in what to look for from me. So that's what, I'm not charging you commission to talk your financial plan, your retirement plan, anything that. I'm just telling you the truth of what's going on, and I explain it. So now you go, oh, okay, now I know what's going on. You want to get, you need to get off the Titanic and get into the lifeboat. You need to get out of the dollar and into gold. You can't go to the euro, the Swiss franc, or British pound. That won't save you. The only thing is gold and silver. It's the savior. And that's the concept that you need to understand. So you should be getting as much gold and silver as you can. As you can see, it's getting harder to come by, and the price is now 4,000. When we started, it was about 1,800, 5-6 years ago. But I was calling for it then. And that's the thing. It's just going to keep going because the demand that people realize their dollar, their euro, their Swiss franc, their British pound are worthless, Japanese, Chinese, as they understand their dollar's worthless because they're all the same. They're not backed by gold, therefore they have no value. That's why Bitcoin has no value. If you're in Bitcoin or stocks, you better be careful. You're going to lose your ass. So as you're in that, you're forced out, and then everybody comes to gold and silver because that's the only real money. People might not want to admit it or might not know. We know. You know the truth. Silver and gold's where to go. So all these people are going to get out of their fake dollars and go into gold and silver. What's going to happen to the price? It's going to go through the roof. Because if you got, but okay, here's a Stardust chip. Okay, so let's say they made 100, and I got 500 people who want this chip. Let's just say I only have this chip, and I got 25 people who want it. Well, they're going to bid it up because person number 9 wants it. Person number 10, he's going to bid more for it. You see it on eBay all the time. Person number 15, he wants it. He's going to, I got to pay more? Okay, but I want it. Well, in gold, you have to have gold. That's the key. That's what saves you. That's what saves your wealth. You can't be broke. How the hell are you going to survive? How are you going to eat? How are you going to live? So you got 200 grand. Now, what are you going to do? Well, with 200 grand, I'm either going to watch it go to zero, or I can trade it, Rumpelstiltskin it for gold, and get the gold and silver and watch that hold its value while my dollar goes to zero. So it's a very simple formula. You have no risk in the portfolio. I mean, these people with 20% in gold. No, I'm 100% in gold. Why would I be 20% in stocks that are going to crash? Why would I be in bonds at all? That we got a $38 trillion debt that can't, or it's corporations which are about to go broke, or these AI idiots, this NVIDIA idiot. I mean, it's AI. Everybody jump. That's all man-made bullshit by these companies promoting this AI NVIDIA or whatever you want to call it. It's all bullshit. Do they make earnings? Are they even making a product? No, but they're coming out. Stay away from Tesla. Elon Musk, an idiot. Nobody wants an electric car. So you just got to be careful who to listen to and why, and challenge them. So if somebody says, no, you buy stocks, buy bonds, say, well, what's your thought on gold? Well, that's nothing. Okay, as soon as you hear that, just get up and leave. This person's a moron. He's trying to get you in commission. Get the fuck up and leave. There's no point in listening or being a part of this guy because he's an idiot. And if he's an idiot, why do you want to listen to him? Rule number 1, we don't listen to idiots. And rule number 2, we question the idiot to make sure are they idiots or not. So we're going to question the guy, well, what's your take on gold? If he doesn't answer what I answer, why would you want to listen to him? And why would you want to listen to a financial planner anyway? I give you more advice that is more meaningful and will make you not only keep you from being broke, but make you money than your financial planner ever could in a million years. I know 100 times more than they do. Why would you listen to them? Oh, well, Joe Blow, like I said to the guy with diabetes, well, I got to keep the thing on. It releases insulin. Da, da, da. I used to be diabetic. I'm not anymore because I listen to the doctor. I don't eat the sugar. What the fuck? Why do you still have that patch on your shoulder? You didn't listen to me. You don't think I know more than your doctor. And that's not me. I'm listening to these other doctors who know more than your doctor. So at the end of the day, people don't know who to listen to. And the variables have changed. The doctors are no longer interested in healing you. They're interested in selling the drugs. That's what a doctor does now. They don't care. So just be very aware of what's going on. Ask questions. Don't just take things for. You go to a doctor, ask questions. You go to a lawyer, you go to CPA, ask questions. You can come back here and ask me the question, and I'll give you the best answer I can. I'm not a doctor, but I listen to our doctor. I put onions on my feet, and I don't hear a doctor telling me that, and I'm cured. It worked. I put castor oil and coconut oil in my hair. I got hair up here. It's hard to see with the light, but you can see it. It's a better angle. But yeah, I got a lot of hair on my head from putting castor oil and coconut oil on it. So anyway, take that to the hoop. Anything else? Anything else I can think of? Oh, yes, I want to show you this one last thing on the Romans. Very clever people, the Romans.
Roman professional divers, called the urinatores, inspected the seabed to map the spots where structures would rise. This also involved careful geotechnical studies to understand the geology of the location. Using probes, they collected samples of the seabed to determine its nature. They carried out surveys whenever they encountered soft ground in order to measure hardness and thickness. If the ground proved unstable, the Romans used a pile driver mounted on a raft to drive rows of wooden piles deep into the seafloor. The machine employed a heavy stone weight fixed to a block and tackle system. Lifted along wooden rails, the stone was hauled up with ropes and released, slamming down to hammer the piles into the ground. Next, caissons were constructed, carefully sealed with bags of clay to enclose the area. Inside these enclosures, they poured their hydraulic concrete, which hardened even underwater. Once set, the concrete was leveled with mortar, producing a smooth, resilient structure built to last centuries.
You take U.S. debt, you take U.S. property debt, for example.
Isn't that amazing what the Romans did? Maybe tomorrow we'll watch Alligator. I watched it today. It was a pretty good episode, actually. And then Andy Brick's plan leaked. What plan? They're gold-backed currency. The plan's been out for 2 years now. We've been talking about it. Oh, but it's leaked. Silver is no more. Now, this is a very bad title. Silver is no more. You might think, oh, silver's price is going to zero. No, it just means there's no silver to buy. The silver is pretty much gone. So the price of silver is going to go to the moon because as everybody wants to buy it, because gold is going to be expensive. If you can find it, you'll go into silver. That's what he should be saying, but he's a fucking idiot. And that's the problem I have with the guy. He doesn't really tell you, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Silver is about to go to the moon. I tell you that all the time, as will gold. I give you the prices. Silver, easily 2,000 an ounce. Gold, easily 25,000 an ounce. That's where it's headed. But they don't want to tell you that. But it's got nothing to do. The dollar won't collapse because gold and silver goes up. I don't know why they think it is. The dollar collapses because you printed the shit out of it and you've made it way too expensive. Well, no, you've killed the value of it. I'm sorry. The gold and silver is getting too expensive, but the dollar, you've killed the value. That's got nothing to do with gold and silver. It's got to do with the dollar having no value. So very simple. Anyway, we'll touch these two tomorrow. Yeah, I'm at 2:30, so I'm getting tired and I'm getting hungry. All right. So I don't know if you're going to bet Mac tonight. Toledo maybe is the bet. They're an A team, Northern Illinois and under. And then Kent and Ball State. Kent's the W with the 36 defense. Ball State is Z with the 29. Good luck on those. So Toledo's, they're at home. They're a good MAC team. But Northern Illinois is pretty good too. So be careful with that. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Real D, thank you, David. Nice to see you. And everybody else, have a good day. Relax, enjoy your life. Buy your gold and silver as much as you can. If you have more dollars, the more you can get out of this, the better you are. So you don't want to be holding $50,000, $100,000. Get it out. If you're still working, go pay your bills, take the rest, go buy gold and silver. Even if it's quarter ounce, 1/10 of an ounce of gold, or the 20 pack of silver. Well, the 20 pack of silver is now $1,000. I was buying it at 400. So there you go. But it's just going to keep going up. Comex is paper bullshit. Don't pay any attention. However, the physical people, for some strange reason, use that as the price of physical, because there really isn't a physical price. How can this be? We should make a physical price exchange. This is the real physical gold and silver price. But how do you not have one is beyond me. And to try to pass off this paper price as physical, it's bullshit. All right. Have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. We'll have our free plays maybe tomorrow. I just want to study more. All right. Take care. www.teaserking.com.